What if your pursuit of manifestation is actually what prevents its realization? Almost everything we've been taught about the law of attraction ignores a crucial fact. The act of desiring reinforces the frequency of scarcity. This isn't a theory, but a systemic flaw that keeps us in a cycle of waiting. In this video, I will reveal a 3-minute protocol drawn from the Hermetic knowledge of Thoth in ancient Egypt. It's a frequency reset that aligns your DNA with the structure of reality, transmuting effort into immediate command. What you are about to discover is the monad change. This is the secret of those who flow with natural abundance, while the rest of the world struggles against the current. The secret is not to attract what is lacking, but to recognize what is already rightfully yours. Stay with me until the end. What I will give you is not just a method, it's the portal you've been trying to open your whole life. If you feel this is the moment to abandon the search and take your power, don't write pre-written phrases. Leave a comment describing in one sentence, what is the first thing you will do when you stop asking and start commanding? I want to read your perspective. At the heart of everything we've been taught about success, happiness, and fulfillment lies a fundamental flaw, a contradiction so profound that most of us go our entire lives without realizing it. From childhood, we are programmed to ask, to desire, to focus on what we lack. Whether in prayer, on a vision board, or in daily affirmations, the mechanism is always the same. Concentrate on what you want to have. But what if I told you that this very technique, sold as the key to manifestation, is actually the chain that keeps you trapped exactly where you are? Every time you ask for something, you are unknowingly shouting your own lack to the universe. Think about it practically. When you say, "I want more money," the energy you emit isn't that of wealth, but of the absence of money. You're operating from a state of not having. It's a subtle, vicious cycle. You feel the lack of something, so you ask for it. The act of asking reinforces the feeling of lack, which leads you to ask for even more. You get stuck in a loop of desire and frustration, always chasing a carrot that seems to move further away with every step you take. This is the invisible trap that sabotages the dreams of millions of people who follow the recipe to the letter but never see the cake baked. Modern science has unintentionally given us a clue about how this mechanism works. In quantum physics, there's something called the Zeno Effect. Simply put, it demonstrates that constantly observing an unstable system can actually prevent it from changing. It's as if your excessive attention freezes reality in place. Now bring this to your life. Your obsession with the result, your constant checking to see if it's worked, your anxiety about the arrival of what you asked for, all of this acts as an observation that freezes your current reality, preventing the quantum leap to a new state of being. The universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It mirrors who you are, your vibration, your state of being. And while you are in the state of wanting, you cannot, by definition, be in the state of having. They are completely different and incompatible frequencies. It's like trying to tune into a rock radio station expecting to hear classical music. No matter how loud you turn the volume up, the station is wrong. The tool that was sold to us as an accelerator has actually become the handbrake that's always on without us realizing it. This understanding is both terrifying and liberating. Terrifying because it shows us that, throughout our lives, we may have used the tools of creation in the wrong way, strengthening precisely what we wanted to eliminate. But it's liberating because once you understand the mechanics of the trap, you can begin to look for a way out. The prison isn't made of steel bars, but of beliefs and mental habits, and if you put yourself in it, even unknowingly, you are also the one who can get out. The power has always been with you. The big question, then, isn't how to ask better, stronger, or with more faith. The question is how to stop asking altogether, how to abandon the habit of focusing on lack and start operating from a completely new place. There is a first step, an act that goes against everything you've learned about manifestation and personal power. An act of courage that, at first glance, may seem like giving up, but which is actually the most powerful move you can make to break this cycle and finally begin to change your reality from the inside out. This first step, which goes against all the logic we've been taught, is an act of radical courage, to stop asking. That's right. To completely silence the inner voice that begs, that desires, that yearns. At first, this may sound like giving up, as if you were throwing in the towel and accepting your current reality forever. But it's exactly the opposite. It's an act of supreme power. It's the conscious refusal to continue feeding the frequency of lack with your energy and attention. It's the moment when you stop playing a game that was designed for you to lose and start creating your own rules. Imagine your consciousness as a lake of deep, calm waters. Every request, every anxious desire, every thought of "I need this" is like a stone thrown forcefully onto the surface. These stones create ripples, agitation, and the water becomes murky, completely distorting the reflection of the skytonoi. You can never see the real image, only a distorted and chaotic version. Only when you stop throwing the stones, when silence settles, do the ripples calm and the surface of the lake become a perfect mirror, reflecting reality with crystal clarity. That is the power of not asking. This silence is not an emptiness of resignation, but a fertile and potent space. It's like a vibrational fast. Just as fasting cleanses the body of toxins, stopping asking cleanses your consciousness of the toxin of need. It's a deep detoxification from the habit of feeling incomplete. In this space of stillness, the mind finally stops projecting an imaginary future where you will be happy when you have that thing, and opens itself to a much more revolutionary possibility. That fullness is already here, now, hidden beneath the noise of your desires. It's an act of profound trust in the workings of the universe. It's like letting go of the rope in a tug of war you were waging against yourself. You stop fighting, you stop resisting your current reality, and in this act of surrender, something paradoxical happens. The tension dissolves. By ceasing to energize the problem with your attention, you allow the solution to appear. The old identity of the beggar, of the one who is always seeking, begins to starve because you have cut off its energy supply. And in this vacuum, something new can finally begin to be born. This practice of silencing desire is not passivity. It is the highest and most refined form of conscious action. You are making a deliberate decision to change your internal frequency. Instead of trying to manipulate the external world, you are reorganizing your internal world. You are stepping out of the role of victim of circumstances and assuming the role of master of your own vibration. It is a subtle movement, but one that has the power to cause an earthquake in your reality. It is the foundation upon which all true transformation is built. And it is from this stillness, this zero point of creation, that an ancient and powerful truth begins to emerge from the depths of your consciousness. A truth that has been whispered by shungis and mystics for millennia. but which can only be truly understood when the mind is still. A truth that has the power to fundamentally change how you see yourself, not as a small part of the universe, but as the entire universe contained in a single expression. When the noise of your desires finally subsides, when you enter that space of inner silence, a revolutionary realization begins to take shape. It's an idea that sages from all traditions have tried to tell us, but the noise of our minds prevented us from hearing. The truth is that you are not a separate piece, an isolated fragment trying to grab a piece of the universe for yourself. You are the entire universe expressing itself in a human body. You are not in the universe is in you. This is not a poetic phrase, it is a description of how reality works. Quantum physicist David Bohm, for example, developed the theory of the holographic universe. The central idea of a hologram is that each small piece of it contains the complete image of the whole. If you break a holographic plate into 1,000 pieces, each tiny piece will still contain the entire image, just with fewer details. Now apply this to yourself. You are not a piece of the universe, you are a hologram of the universe. Everything that exists, all abundance, all creativity, all intelligence, is already encoded within your own structure, in your being. This changes everything. The search for love, happiness, wealth, or peace ceases to be a treasure hunt in the external world. You stop trying to attract things from the outside in because you realize there is no outside. Everything is already within you, like a latent potential, a silent melody waiting to be played. The journey is reversed. Instead of looking outward for something to complete you, you begin to look inward to awaken what is already complete. It's a radical shift from a consciousness of duality, of self and other, to a consciousness of unity. The famous Emerald Tablet, an ancient text attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, perfectly summarizes this. As above, so below. As above, so below. This is not an instruction to manipulate energies and attract things from above. It is an invitation to recognition. It is a reminder that your inner reality, what is below, and universal reality, what is above, are a reflection of each other. There is no separation. You don't need to build a bridge to abundance. You need to realize that you already are the bridge. This perception is what we can call monad shift. The monad, a concept from philosophers like Leibniz, is the indivisible unity, the primary substance of everything. To recognize oneself as a monad is to understand one's nature as a complete and self-sufficient unity of the cosmos. You don't need to create abundance, you just need to stop creating the illusion of scarcity. You need to allow your true nature, which is inherently abundant, to reveal itself through you without the blockages of your conditioned mind. I know that turning that key and living as that powerful unit can seem difficult when the world outside screams scarcity. To ensure you can make this monad shift definitively and safely, without relapses, I've prepared a practical guide. It's the exact map for you to stop creating illusions and embrace your abundant nature now. The complete material is already available in the first pinned comment. But how do we do this in practice right now? How do we access this code that is already within us? If abundance is a melody encoded in our being, how do we begin to play it? The answer lies in a tool we use every day, every second, often unconsciously and destructively. a tool that, when used consciously and from this new place of unity, becomes the magic wand capable of tuning our being to the symphony of the universe. The tool we use every day is language, the power of words and focused thought. In ancient Egypt, the god Thoth was the master of the Logos, the ordering principle of the cosmos. He understood that reality is not something fixed and solid, but a manifestation of frequency and vibration. Thoth's key, passed down through mystery schools for centuries, is the understanding that language doesn't just describe reality. Language, when used with intention, creates reality. Your thoughts and words are not ethereal events. They are pulses of energy that shape the quantum field around you. Modern science, after centuries of materialism, is finally beginning to grasp this ancient wisdom. Pioneering research, such as that of the Russian biophysicist Peter Garyaev on wave genetics, has demonstrated something that sounds like science fiction. DNA, the code of life, can be influenced and even reprogrammed by sound frequencies and words. This means that the language you use, both spoken and thought, is not just floating in the air. It is interacting directly with your biology, your energy field, and the matrix of reality. Here's the crucial point. By stopping the incessant noise of asking, you finally clear the channel to use this powerful tool correctly. The change isn't in the content of what you say, but in the frequency from which you speak. When you speak from a state of lack, of need, you are using the word to create more lack. Every "I need" or "I want" is a vibrational command that reinforces absence. You are using the key to lock the door even further. But when you speak from a state of unity consciousness, from the recognition that you are already the universe in miniature, the word becomes an instrument of declaration and alignment. You no longer plead, you declare. You don't ask, you affirm what is already true at a deeper level of reality. Language becomes a calibration tool. You use it to fine-tune your state of being to the frequency of possession, of fullness, of fulfillment. It's the difference between begging and writing a check from your own infinite account. Think of your thoughts and words as a tuning fork. If you strike it at the frequency of scarcity, your entire being and the reality around you will begin to vibrate at that same frequency. But if you consciously strike it at the frequency of gratitude, certainty, and possession, you send out a coherent wave that reorganizes the energy around you to match this new tuning. You stop being a reactive echo of the world and become the voice that commands the symphony of your own life. This internal shift in language is the practical application of Thoth's wisdom. It's the secret to using the key that has always been in your hands. But where exactly does this attunement happen? Where does the word meet matter to produce a real and tangible change? The answer isn't in some ethereal or distant plane. The place where this alchemy happens is your own body, the temple where consciousness and biology dance together. The place where this fine-tuning happens is your own body. We've been taught to see our bodies as machines of flesh and bone, vehicles that carry us around and eventually break down, but that's a terribly limited view. Your body is, in fact, a high-tech holographic biocomputer, a living quantum antenna that is in constant communication with the energy and information field of the universe. Each of your trillions of cells is not just a biological building block, it's a microprocessor, an antenna that receives and transmits information non-stop. The science of epigenetics, popularized by cell biologists like Bruce Lipton, has shattered the old dogma that our genes are our destiny. Epigenetics proves that genes are like architectural blueprints, but they don't decide what will be built. It is our perception of the environment that acts as the contractor, reading the blueprints and choosing which ones to execute. And what is the environment for your cells? It's not the world out there. It's the chemical environment of your blood, which is directly and instantly altered by your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. This is absolutely revolutionary. It means that every thought you have releases a cascade of neurochemicals that bathe your cells, telling them how to behave. Thoughts of fear and stress release cortisol and adrenaline, which are signals for cells to enter protection mode, conserving energy and preparing for danger. This is the biology of scarcity. On the other hand, thoughts of love, joy, and gratitude release dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, which are signals for cells to enter growth, regeneration, and prosperity mode. When we talk about rewriting the code, it's not just a metaphor. By changing your state of consciousness, you are altering the field of light and information, the biophotons, that your body emits. This light field instructs your physical DNA on which genes to activate and which to silence. You are literally, at the most fundamental level, erasing the cellular memory of scarcity, trauma, and limitation, and activating the genetic programs of unlimited potential, health, and abundance that have always been there, dormant, waiting for the right command. Your body becomes the sacred altar where transformation takes place. Your consciousness is the priest performing the ritual. Biology is not a fixed destiny, it bows to consciousness. The temple responds to the command of the inner master. You no longer need to fight against your body or your biology. Instead, you learn to work with it, to send the right signals, to create the internal environment that allows your highest and most thriving version to manifest physically, cell by cell. The big practical question then is how to send this new command effectively. How to ensure that the message of your new consciousness is received and executed by your body. It's not enough to have a positive thought for a second. A strong and sustained signal is needed, one that is sufficient to overcome decades of old programming. And science shows us that there is a specific time window, a precise physiological threshold for this new command to be accepted and for the neural and cellular rewiring to actually occur. This time window is not a mystical or arbitrary number. It is a precise physiological threshold discovered by neuroscientists and researchers of human behavior. Approximately 180 seconds or 3 minutes of sustained emotional and mental focus are needed to create a real and lasting change in your nervous system and body chemistry. It is the minimum time required for a new thought or feeling to begin forming a new neural pathway, a new cellular memory without the brain becoming fatigued and losing focus. Think about what happens in less than 3 minutes. A fleeting thought, a quick emotion. They're like writing in the sand by the sea. The next wave of your old programming comes and erases everything. But when you sustain a state for 180 seconds, you begin to record that new pattern in a deeper place. You're moving information from your short-term working memory to your subconscious, the operating system that controls 95% of your life without you realizing it. Research institutes like the HeartMath Institute have made incredible discoveries about this process. They have shown that 3 minutes of rhythmic breathing and focusing on a heightened emotion, such as gratitude or appreciation, is enough to shift the nervous system from sympathetic dominance mode, the fight or flight state, the physiology of scarcity, to parasympathetic dominance mode, the rest and digest state, the physiology of receiving and security. This state of balance is called cardiac coherence. During cardiac coherence, your heart, which has its own electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than that of the brain, begins to beat in a smooth and orderly rhythm. This rhythm sends a powerful signal to the brain, especially to the amygdala, the fear center, informing it that everything is all right, that you are safe. Biologically, your body can only process and accept abundance, healing, and growth when it feels safe. You can't build a new house in the middle of a hurricane. First, the storm needs to pass. These 180 seconds are, therefore, your practical gateway. They are the bridge between abstract theory and lived experience. It is the moment when wisdom becomes real and applicable power. It is the time you consciously dedicate to creating a new engram, a new trace of neural and cellular memory. It is your daily training to teach your body, in its own chemical and electrical language, what it feels like to already have what you desire. You are conditioning your body to a new mind. So the protocol becomes clear. It's not about spending the whole day trying to be positive. It's about creating one or more 180-second windows throughout your day to deliberately realign your biology with your new consciousness. It's a concentrated act of creative power. It's your opportunity to enter the operating system of your being and install a new program. And that's exactly what we'll do together now. At the most crucial moment of this entire journey. This is the moment. The turning point where theory transforms into practice and information becomes transformation. For your new reality to finally be born, the old identity, the identity of the beggar, of the one who is always searching, waiting, and never finding, needs to die. And this death is not a sad event, it is a liberation. Let's do this together now in a conscious ritual of exactly 180 seconds. Wherever you are, stop for a moment. If you can, close your eyes to minimize external distractions and turn your attention inward. Begin by breathing deeply and slowly. Inhale through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale gently through your mouth, releasing all tension. Do this once more. Now, with your attention fully turned inward, make a conscious decision. For these 3 minutes, you will stop asking. You will completely silence the voice of lack. Instead, choose a single thing you wish to manifest in your life. It could be health, a relationship, financial prosperity. Choose one. Now comes the most important step. Instead of visualizing yourself receiving this in the future, ask yourself, who would I be if this were already my reality now? Don't think about it, feel the answer. If you chose prosperity, don't imagine yourself having money. Feel yourself being the very energy of opulence, of freedom, of security. How would you walk? How would you breathe? What would the sensation be in your chest? Let that emotion fill every cell of your body. If you have chosen love, don't imagine yourself finding someone. Feel yourself being the personification of love, of connection, of fullness. Feel the warmth, the acceptance, the joy of being loved and of loving, as if it were already your absolute truth. Immerse yourself in this emotion. Let it become more real than the physical world around you. And while you maintain this feeling, introduce the most powerful emotion of all: gratitude. Feel a deep and visceral gratitude, not for something that will happen, but for what already is. Maintain this state. Breathe into this feeling. If your mind tries to pull you away with doubts or distractions, gently bring your focus back to the emotion. You are no longer visualizing a future. You are rewriting your state of being in the present moment. You are teaching your body, chemically, what your realized future feels like. You are abandoning the identity of the victim, the supplicant, and assuming with your whole being the identity of the creator. You are declaring your sovereignty. Continue breathing in this state for the remaining time. Feel the change happening at a cellular level. You are sending the strongest and most coherent signal possible to the quantum field. A signal that doesn't say, "Please give me," but that says, "I am." You are collapsing the wave of potential into a new reality simply by becoming, in thought and feeling, what you desire to be. And from the ashes of that old beggar identity, something new, powerful, and authentic is being born at this very moment. When you open your eyes, something fundamental has changed, even if the world around you seems the same. That 3-minute ritual wasn't just a relaxation exercise. It was an act of death and rebirth. The beggar's identity, conditioned by lack and waiting, dissolved in the intensity of your presence, and in its place, a new identity began to emerge. It is the identity of the one who is, not the one who wants to be. It is your true nature, buried under layers of conditioning, coming to the surface. The question that guides your consciousness now radically transforms. It ceases to be, "How do I get what I want?" and becomes, "Who am I, now that I am what I desire?" The answer to this new question is not intellectual. It's not a list of characteristics. It's a feeling. It's the continuation of that state you cultivated in the last 3 minutes. It's a fusion of your consciousness with the energy of your fulfilled desire. You no longer seek wealth, you become the frequency of wealth. You no longer seek love, you become the frequency of love. The gratitude you felt during the ritual wasn't a mental trick to feel good. It was a biochemical and vibrational signal of the highest order. By feeling gratitude before physical manifestation, you are sending an energetic signature to the quantum field that your request has already been fulfilled. You are behaving like a conscious creator, giving thanks for creation even before seeing it with physical eyes. This is the secret that the great masters and mystics of all ages have tried to teach with the phrase, "I and the Father are one." I and my creation are one. This is the birth of the inner magician. The magician archetype doesn't beg the heavens for rain, he performs the rain dance. He becomes the energy of the rain, and nature responds. Similarly, you stop begging the universe for a new reality. You become the frequency of that new reality, and the universe, which is a mirror of your energy, has no choice but to begin rearranging events, people, and opportunities to reflect who you have become. The outer world begins to align with your new inner truth. This shift in identity is the difference between being a passenger on life's boat, at the mercy of the waves, and being the captain who adjusts the sails and sets the course. You stop reacting to circumstances and begin to create them from within. You understand that power has never been outside, in the hands of other people, the government, or the economy. The power to shape your experience has always been within you, in your ability to choose your state of being regardless of external conditions. But here a new challenge arises, perhaps the greatest of all. It's relatively easy to maintain this state for 3 minutes in a controlled environment. But how do you sustain this new identity, this new frequency, amidst the chaos, pressures, and triggers of daily life? How do you ensure that this transformation isn't just a passing moment, but your new permanent way of existing in the world? True mastery, the point where transformation becomes permanent, doesn't lie in performing an isolated ritual and then reverting to old patterns of thought and feeling. That would be like taking a bath and then rolling in the mud. True alchemy, the great work, is integrating this new identity into every fiber of your daily life. Abundance, peace, or love cease to be an event you seek and become your default state of being, your new baseline.